clear best 17. I think we saw that when they had their, injury crisis.
For those of you who wonder, Mark did roll his eyes then.
But yeah, so that's how I see it. What about you?
I think 30 points to 12 in favour of Leeds Rhinos. Definitely going to be a cup hangover. Okay, Huddersfield taking on Castleford down at the John Smiths. Mate, I'm going to say Huddersfield win this one. Close. I am a bit twitchy about it, but I just wonder if for all the hard work that Darryl Powell and fucking Shadrach Dingle or whatever his name is with his silly act put in. Ryan Sheridan, thank you. Crazy eyes. I just wonder if Castleford aren't a little bit, well, maybe I'd like to play in a semi-final and then a grand final. Why do I want to get injured? Why do I want to hurt? I just wonder if in the back of players' minds there might be some pulling out going on. I know we won't want them to, and I know they'll be drilling not to do it, but I wonder if psychologically Castleford might give themselves the week off subconsciously. So I'm thinking Huddersfield will be up for this one and be at it, because they still mathematically have a chance of getting in the top four. I think this will be...
But the score you've gone for...
19 points to 18.
That's what confuses me.
Well, that's because I can't pick a winner. Because I'm not sure. It's not because I think it's going to be a close, well-fought game where Huddersfield slot a winning draw. I just can't, Because surely Castleford have got enough quality, if it is that close, to pull it out of the bag at the end. Anyway, I think... No, I just think a close win for Huddersfield.
I think Castleford are rolling high in confidence. I think they're going to be enjoying themselves. I think, there might be a few people who take the odd shift off, but I think those people will be whipped off the pitch and someone else will go on and say, well, I want your starting spot, or I want your spot in the 17, or what have you, for the semi-finals to come. So I think 30 points to 20 in favour of Cass, and I think they're going to have had... I think the stop for the cup finals come at a great time for them. It's allowed them to celebrate and enjoy and then get back down to work.
Yeah, okay. Salford take on Wakefield down the AJ Bell at the same time on Friday night. What do you think for that one?
I think Wakefield are going to win. I just think they're the better team at the moment. I've gone 23 points to 10. In favour of Wakefield, because like I say, I think they're the better team at the moment of those two. I feel sorry for Salford, because ending the season badly is going to carry over to the season ticket sales and that sort of stuff, which are already not going to be great because it's Salford and no one goes anymore. But I can't see it going a different way, sorry.
No, me neither. I think 26 points to 14 in favour of Wakefield. Salford, I don't think benefit from a couple of weeks off. I still think their season's imploding, and that will prove to be the case. St Helens take on Wigan, Mark.
I think we're going to be bang up for this. I think we're going to right some of the wrongs, and I don't think Saints will have the same... Even though Matty Smith's very good, I don't think they're going to have the same quality to end sets. Just about.
Best work on your end sets then, eh?
But I think we're going to be bang up for it. And after the game on Saturday, I was so confident that we were going to go and smash Saints. I've tempered that down to 28 points to 16.
Right.
But I still think... I just think we're going to really want to sort this out, and it's our last chance. If we lose this game, season over.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that will be what Sean Wayne impresses upon them, and I actually think he'll get a similar result. 16-30 is what I've gone for in favour of you boys. So into the qualifiers then. I've got a lot of away wins picked out here. London take on Warrington on Saturday evening on Sky. Can the Broncos upset the apple cart?
I think they've
will they?
I think they've got it in them to be able to. I don't think they will. I think this is, them saying goodbye to promotion chances this weekend. I've got 30 points to 12 in favour of Warrington. I think Warrington are obviously just a class of the qualifiers, and it's going to be hard to see them lose any game. Yeah,
take no pride in where you are, but they're 30 points. 34 points to 14 wins in this one, I think. Featherstone Rovers take on Old Kingston Rovers, though. Now, what do you reckon to this one? For me, the whole cakewalk continues. I think Hull KR get a win here, and that's 8 points for him, isn't it?
I don't think it's going to be that comfortable. You're going with
I'm going big win. I'm going 40 points to 16 for Hull.
I'm going narrow win, 30 points to 20. I actually think this could be... This is kind of the banana skin game, I think, for Hull KR, if there was one. But I just think they'll be good enough.
Yeah, me too.
And that means that the worst outcome for them is going to be the £1 million game at home. I'd say if they win this one, that's probably the worst outcome they'll see.
Yeah. Halifax taking on Catalan. This one tickled my fancy a little bit in terms of, will Catalan fancy this? Will their attitude improve? Will they actually start playing better? Halifax, whilst they've not been winning a lot of games, you cannot fault their the application and their aptitude for what they've got, is this a chance for Halifax to get a win over a massive Super League scout?
It's a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think I'm going to go with the team with more quality in it. I think they've had a good chance for some self-reflection. It sounds like they've had a serious sort of camp that's really given them a chance to refocus. I think they're going to have looked inside themselves and realised we're letting ourselves down, we're letting our region down, we're letting our fans down. I think they're going to win 36-16 Catalan.
For all my talk, I would have gone 30 points. 30 points to 12 in favour of the Dragons. Right, final game of the weekend. Lee take on the Widnes Vikings. Ooh, Lee need to, Lee want to get this done and out of the way, don't they? Both teams want to get to a decent point start as quickly as they possibly can. I think home advantage will benefit Lee. Close one though, 18-12.
I think the better side of these two is Widnes. So I'm going to go 26-18 in favour of Widnes, and I think Lee's win over Catalan was as much to do with Catalan as it was to do with Lee. Because on any other day, I think that Lee side could have got beaten that day by a different side, even though they absolutely, seemed to hammer them.
2 weeks though of the new head of rugby, Kieran Cunningham in charge.
I don't think it's going to be a factor whatsoever, Tom.
I might change my choice. What have you gone for?
I've gone for Widnes 26-18. I think Widnes, like I said, I think they've got a few more. I just think they've got a few more players that are tried and tested at this sort of stage of the season at a higher level, and maybe a bit more used to each other because Lee have brought in people, haven't they, to playing key roles, whereas Widnes, and I think some of Widnes' key players are starting to find a bit of form for themselves. Hanbury's back in the side and going okay. Lloyd White's back in the side and going okay. Joe Miller's back in the side and going okay. And I think this is Widnes', and I think this gets Lee back in the conversation of the £1 million game. But for Widnes, I think it's full steam ahead.
There you go. Okay, Championship Shield game of the week. What have we got for us?
Rochdale Swinton, obviously.
Makes sense. League One game of the week.
York versus Doncaster. The winner of that game will secure themselves a place, really, in the end of season promotion playoffs. Whereas the loser will seriously be looking over their shoulder, depending on what goes on elsewhere.
Okay. And in the Shield?
All Golds versus Oxford, mostly because of the fact that it's two sides to maybe one side next year.
In other words, the Spice Girls, two become one. Very good. NRL Brit Picks, what tickles your fancy for some early morning viewing?
Well, it's the final round of the NRL, so some of the games have big significance, some of them not so much. Eels versus Rabbitohs could see the Eels finish in the top four, but it's our British players for the Rabbitohs we want to see have one last run out. Roosters versus that's Friday at 10:50. Sorry, Roosters v Titans Saturday at 6 a.m. Roosters are pretty solidly in the top four now, but the Titans year's done. But it'll be interesting to see if Joe Greenwood can have a performance that might get himself back in the England conversation, because he's fallen out of that recently. Saturday 6 a.m.
Okay.
Storm versus the Raiders Saturday at 10:30. Absolutely nothing on the table for the Storm here. I'm not sure if they might rest a few or something, but the Raiders have Hodgson and Whitehead both wanting to cement their England starting spots, really, with good performances. The Knights versus the Sharks, that's Joe Wardle's potential farewell for the Newcastle side there Sunday at 5 a.m. And then the Dragons versus the Bulldogs, this is the biggest one. The Bulldogs are obviously out of it with James Graham, but the Dragons absolutely need to win. Lose here and they've got no chance. Sunday 5 a.m. for that. And obviously I'd say watch the other games too, because the games involving Penrith and the Sea Eagles and the Cowboys are all going to be important to whether Gareth Widgett's playing finals football. What we could have a situation is that none of our players that are in England going to be in the England squad will be playing finals football in the NRL, and that might mean they can all get in a camp together and start.
They can all be rested and ready to play. All right. Well, there you go. Okay, so that is your Super League pod for the week. All that remains for us to do now is wrap up the show. Okay, we come to the end of our Cup Final special. Mark, we've got trivia. I suspect you're coming back at me hard. I suspect I might be the hidden victim of Wigan's defeat. Go on, what have you got for us?
Right, Scott Taylor achieved a fairly special double on Saturday.
Right.
to have been a winner in a cup final for and against the same teams, essentially. Winning it in 2013 for Wigan against Hull FC, before winning it in 2017 for Hull FC against Wigan.
Right.
So can you name the other players to have achieved a similar feat during the Super League years, i.e. they have won a final for and against the same side since Super League started in 1996. So I'm looking for you to give grand finals as well as finals. I've come up with two names.
Right, okay.
I found a third player who completed the feat during the Super League years, but the first final on the opposite side was way back in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't count.
Right.
And I found Matty Smith has played and lost for the same teams against the same opposition,
okay.
but not played and won for the same teams.
So he doesn't count.
So he doesn't come into it. So
we've got two players to find. Am I going to get clues or just have to guess?
No, I'm going to give you some clues. I was just giving you a nice build up there.
Okay.
Dropping a few more notes on you. So, this prop forward came off the bench for Wigan as they beat St Helens 21-12 at Murrayfield in 2002, before doing the same for St Helens as they beat Wigan 32-16 in Cardiff in 2004. He went on to make appearances for Oldham, Leigh and Wakefield, but was never able to match those early career highs.
Oh, no, this is ridiculous. This is beyond me, this one. I could sit here all day. Go on, let's find out the gentleman's name.
We'll give We'll give a quick pause for the listeners to stop it and have a go themselves.
We're vamping now. We're vamping a bit now. Any more clues, or is that my lot? Is that clue one?
No, that was it.
All right.
There's quite a lot in there.
Yeah, there is. No, I'm not getting him. Go on, who was it?
Ricky Bybee.
Oh, bloody hell. I know the name, I didn't know that. Right, okay.
This centre won a grand final late in his career for hometown Wigan against arch rival St Helens in 2010, after being part of the St Helens lineup that won the Challenge Cup over Wigan in 2004.
Is he what might be insensitively called as occasionally mentally hilarious?
Potentially.
Is it Martin Gleeson?
It is Martin Gleeson.
Oh, that's alright. Fucking hell. I was running out of fucking centres who'd done that for you lot, who played for both teams.
Cass was telling me that Oral's midfield lineup is looking like going into the new season as Sean Long in the 10 jersey and Martin Gleeson in the 12 jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright.
If anyone wants to have a stab at the other player who I found, and also point out any other players who think have done it, what I've realised, which has never really occurred to me...
Has Jamie Peacock not done it?
Because Bradford beat Leeds,
and then he went,
and then Bradford went shit.
Yeah.
Also, Bradford never beat St Helens in a major final during that period from '96 to 05, when Bradford. It was like Bradford and Saints were the two teams that won most of the trophies. Bradford never beat Saints in a final, so people like Gilmore and people like that, I couldn't place.
You can get a little price in there either, could you, I suppose?
No, but I reckon there will be plenty of players from the earlier years. I didn't go so far as to go back and then start talking about Premiership finals and Challenge Cup finals, because you'd get a Fire won a Premiership final for Widnes against Wigan, I'm pretty certain, in the late 80s before playing for Wigan, although I don't even think he beat... Did he beat Widnes in the final? I don't think he did. Might have been another Premiership final or something like that, or a Regal Trophy final or something. Didn't go into all those, but if anyone thinks of any other names, get in touch, because I thought it was an interesting thing. Me and Cass were having a bit of a chew over it last night, and he came up with Gleeson himself, and then...
Oh. Yeah, there you go. Okay, but let us know how you got on, see if you can beat my 1 out of 2 scoreline. Any recommendations this week, Mark?
Not really.
No, I haven't got anything really.
Sleeping off cup final misery.
Yeah, well, I'll be sleeping off just a 3 or 4 day hangover. Okay, what's coming up then? What we're looking forward to next week on the Super League Pod? Obviously, we'll have people getting in touch with us, and they can do that by going to us at Super League Pod on Twitter. We're Super League Pod we're at Super League Pod on Instagram. If you want to take a look at us there, go to facebook.com/Super League Pod, and you can send us a longer form bit of contact by going to creating an email and sending it to superleaguepod@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's the final of the under-19s competition.
Okay.
At the DW on, I think it's on Sunday. I think it's Sunday at 2 o'clock. I'll just... I'm not sure if I can confirm that anywhere, to be completely honest.